computer programming also in the year 1996. And I finished that within the year, and I was actually the top notcher of the class. I'm basically very good in terms of flow charting, which is actually the foundation in order for you to be a computer programmer. Because in computer programming, what I can vouch on is that as you program something, it needs to be zero error in order for the program to run. And that is the very basic that we should know about programming. Now, I started with DBase, and then actually, my foundation were uh, more like real foundations as far as programming. I started with DBase, Object Programming, Pascal, and then Visual Basic, and then Java. Where in Java, since I'm also a college professor, and I did have Master of Arts in Educational Management. So I was teaching college chemistry at the same time with different subjects, and that included uh, particularly information technology and computer programs. I do customizations for hardware requirements, and I also teach software applications and then installations, making it operational in terms of setting up systems. And I'm into real projects, like, for example, we have a technical project and we need to integrate computer programming. That is exactly how I do it for a project. Now, since I'm a chemist, I usually integrate my chemistry projects with information technology, or what we call IT. Like, for example, in the laboratory, in order that everything will be smooth, flowing, hassle-free, we usually put a system, program a system, wherein our particularly quality control system, like, for example, if we need to monitor the flow of our effluents and we need to subject them for laboratory analysis, we make it a point to program it so that the whole operations will be programmable and then easy to manage and easy to monitor. And then at the same time, the recording or reporting per se will be so organized that in just one click, everything you can find out in terms of databases. And particularly as far as programming, we also have this access wherein if we need to do some troubleshooting, then definitely we can do so. Now, as far as Java, since I'm a college professor, I have stints in terms of teaching Java with a number of students, particularly e-commerce students, because they are into some kind of e-commerce business website know-how, and I think they need to program the system. That's why I have stints in terms of teaching a number of students, actually by class. Usually the class here is for a maximum of 50 or sometimes 60 people, 60 students in a class. I did that with the Korean scholars, but I was teaching them college chemistry. But as I was teaching Java for a number of e-commerce students, they were in a class of maximum of 40. Minimum were 25 students in a class. And I have managed to teach a maximum number of 10 classes just for one semester. And then as far as if you would ask me what's my favorite programming language, it's Java. As you can see, until now, until recently, that is actually the best programming language that you can equate, especially for projects. Now, if you will be asking me about what's my favorite programming project,
Sorry, Margaret, can I ask a question? Why do you feel, or why do you say Java is the best language? In
well,
your opinion, in your opinion.
yes, actually, it's like this. Comparing the setup and the system of programming way back in the 1990s wherein I did study programming and compare it to the recent trends. If you can see, I would like to give an example. QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks is actually an accounting software, wherein by the time I was teaching CEOs, Americans in the US, and we were using QuickBooks, it was not online yet at that time, and that was in the year 2011 or 2010. I was in a BPO company wherein our task was to do tutorials to almost all CEOs in the US. And then aside from tutorials, we troubleshoot whatever is the problem with the QuickBooks software, which is an accounting software. And then we did manage to um, guide them also for their financial statements without being dependent on their secretaries or with their accountants in the company. That is exactly the campaign why we did have this QuickBooks. Now, if you will be comparing QuickBooks at that time, which was 2010, 2011, and then comparing QuickBooks now, which is already QuickBooks Online, today, it's so easy because it's user-friendly. No need for you to do programming in order to get hold of the QuickBooks software. It is actually in the form of an app, and it's even available in your mobile phones, wherein you can just be observant in terms of instructions because they were already developed. It's more like if you are an app developer, everything in the programming, everything in the system has made it easier in terms of developing an app so that it will be user friendly. Just like you don't need to be a programmer this time in order that you can use the QuickBooks, particularly the QuickBooks Online. And that is the major difference. Not unlike during 2000, 2010, 2011, and especially during the time that I have studied programming, wherein we are into the DOS system, this operating system. We really need to start from flow charting and even make it manual because we are particular on the 100% logic as far as the programming. And then as you do the flow chart, you encode it into the system, the black screen, and then as you enter it, it needs to be zero error. Otherwise, the program won't run. Now, even for one error only, you need to go back to the flow charting or to the language wherein you have translated your flow chart, wherein you use symbols. And then through that one error only, as you fix it and you make changes and then you enter and there's still one error or for example more errors, then it will be repeatedly be done until you get zero error, and that is where the program will run. That is before, but this time it's already in the app development wherein you can just even drag and drop and then you can just make to edit whatever that you need to customize. So that is the exact difference between programming before and the programming now. But I have kept pace with the technology. I am very thankful that I have started programming more like during the early times or 1990s. And
That's actually, sorry, that's actually one of my questions is how do you keep up with the current trends and advances in this technology and in programming?
uh,
You want to
yes, AI. Um,
Let me say
can
that.
you repeat that?
No
please?
problem. I said, how do you keep up with the current trends and the advances in the programming industry?
Can you
wait. Don't touch
lift the volume?
Let me type it for you.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
let's go there.
Yes. How can I keep up with the trends in the field? I actually never stopped studying. even while working in different fields, I managed to uh, more like advance my learning, especially here in the Philippines. We do have this licensing under the PRC or Professional Regulations Commission, wherein it is the organization wherein all licensed professionals, either you are a chemist, an architect, an engineer, a doctor, even a lawyer, an accountant, that is where we get our license. And it starts with um, more like taking the exam. Now, as you pass the board exam, then you take your license. But it doesn't stop there. Every 3 years, we need to renew our licenses. So, and in order for you to renew your license, you need to have, for example, with chemists, you need to have or to submit 30 units of continuous development or continuous study related to your profession. And with that 30 units, it needs to be by year. Like for example, if the total is 30 units, you need to forward or attend seminars or conventions every year for a maximum of 10 units so that in 3 years, you will be able to forward 30 units of accredited seminars that you have attended, for example, during a convention. It is a must because it is what we call continuous development, and we are required for that in order to renew our licenses. That is exactly what I do because I'm actually the president of the chemists here in the Philippines, and later I am also a regional board chairman of the Royal Society of Chemists in the United Kingdom, wherein as far as the Philippine chapter, I'm actually the overall head of the chemists here in the Philippines, while we also have this Integrated Chemists of the Philippines, wherein I'm one of the board directors of the national chapter, and at the same time, the regional board chairman also of the Region 3, which is Central Luzon, and also the Region 4. Now, in addition to that, we hold seminars. I even host seminars. I'm also a speaker in order to develop that field. Now, being a chemist, per trends in the advanced technology, I actually have integrated chemistry already with information technology. That's why every time I do have a project, it's chemistry based, but the information technology is integrated. That's why you can see it's a manufacturing company, it's a chemical company, but the system is so organized and it is computerized because I already have integrated IT or information technology. And in other words, we have integrated programs or some codings, just like the recent trends we're in. Previously, you need to do some programming, flow charting, and then languages. But now, it is so simple as using codes only because the apps or particularly the languages, the softwares are already programmable and they are friendly, user friendly. That's why you need to just need some codes, not just like before that even the spaces you count it, you program it, otherwise there will be errors. And then in addition to that, I am teaching previously on-site or school-based in universities, wherein it's a must that every time you teach a subject, you need to profile your knowledge. And in addition, later, I'm also into online teaching, even with foreigners like Taiwanese, Chinese, Japanese, Koreans. As I said, I have managed to teach a group of Korean scholars wherein I also have taught them not only chemistry, college chemistry, but also English because that is a requirement for them in order for them to be fluent. And I have managed to teach a lot of subjects, even students who are or professionals who are graduates of law. I have managed to teach them online, and that speaks also, or that is an addition in terms of further my knowledge. And I also attend seminars, hold events, and I usually do collaborations like even for simple, yes,
All right, and then
yes,
my one more question that I've got, I'll type it out for you as well.
yes.
It is describe a situation where you had to explain technical details to a non-technical audience, and how did you manage to do this?
Okay.
For example, me, I don't know anything.
Yes.
Alright. But I have a problem to solve.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that is a common or standard SOP in the BPO that we call BPO. Here in the Philippines, when you hear about BPO, it speaks of the call center industry.
Very low.
Yes.
Okay,
That
imagine,
is,
imagine you're telling me about a project you're
yes.
doing. So imagine I am the person, the non-technical guy.
Yes.
So try to tell me in a way that I can understand.
Yes, exactly. That is the reason why I have mentioned about the call center industry, because it is in that position that I am able to do this, just like what you are asking. For example, there's a caller, and we are tech support representatives or professionals. I particularly is a TSP, or a tech support professional level 2, which is the highest level, because when you say level 3, it's already foreigners who are taking jobs as far as that. So, for example, I am a TSP or a tech support professional, and there will be a call, and it will be routed to me, and then there will be some kind of troubleshooting. And for example, the subject has something to do with programming. And then the caller will be asking me, I have no knowledge about computers. I have no knowledge about programming. I have no knowledge about coding, but we are now required to study it and apply it, know the theories, and make it applications. And we are doing brainstorming. Can you help me? So what I will do, since the caller is a learner, and to think we need to start from the basics. What we do actually is more like tutoring, in terms of, number one, give them ideas about words, or more like codes. Or for example, whenever you talk about internet, what exactly do you mean? If you are talking about an app, what is exactly an app? So it starts there, because you need to build a foundation first. Now, as the caller is actually familiar with the exact words or description that he needs to know, then we start with the basic. Like for example, if it's programming, uh, is there anything, or is there any programming language that you know? And then, for example, if the caller will say, I only know formatting in Excel, or perhaps higher than that, I know Visual Basic. So if the position or the learning of the caller is only like that, but then he or she is asking about Java and about, for example, PHP, which is a hypertext processor, what I will do is make integration based on what he or she knows already. Like for example, if he knows Excel only, and he does formatting only, and what he wants to ask from me is QuickBooks Online, what I will be suggesting to her is that don't worry about the instructions on the QuickBooks Online in order to set up your financial statements. All I need to ask from you is that, is your Excel sheet ready already? Like for example, is your financial statement ready with your Excel, wherein there are actually very simple computations or
Yes, yes.
formula? So if she says yes, then I will just tell her to export her Excel spreadsheet, and
Okay.
then as she or he exports it into the QuickBooks Online, then it's hassle-free. Immediately, no need to encode, no need to
Correct.
input
Correct.
data. it will just be exported to the QuickBooks Online because it was already programmed and in such a way that it's already user-friendly. No need to use flow charting, no need to use DOS. It will be immediately exported to the QuickBooks Online and then it's up and running already. That
Yes.
is exactly how I do it.
Thank you, Marie. That's a good answer. James, I'm done with my questions. If you've got anything else, please carry on.
Okay, thank you, Lucen.
Thanks.
Okay, Lasha. So, you have questions to ask us?
Actually, I would like to be oriented with the because I have managed to research. When I asked you, may I know what's the name of the company, and then you said P2P. So I actually have made some research, and then until I was able to gather some information from the CEO because you have introduced me.
What can you tell me that I don't know?
Uh, Depends on what you would like to know.
But I don't know what I don't know.
Well, actually, if you will be asking me
Okay, what's your thoughts?
regarding this meeting or
This general arrangement, think you can work with us?
I definitely yes, but since you are the company, although I was wondering about what I have read about the CEO that every time
But here it comes with our application lines.
that is exactly what I need to confirm with you because here in the Philippines, whenever there is something like this, an invitation for programmers, definitely you will be thinking there will be a project. Like for example, most of the time government projects. The recent projects that we are doing right now is our national ID because we have so many government IDs, but never did we have a national ID. That's actually the projects that we are doing. No, because majority of clients, actually here in the Philippines, whenever there are foreigners doing projects, we call, for example, even with the BPO call center industry, they are called clients. So basically, it's a big company because you won't opt to do business outside of your country if your company is not that big.
Why?
What?
Why? Why
Uh,
won't you do it if you are not big?
well, if you are
How big is big to you?
large corporations,
Yeah, how large is large?
large corporations like
The teddy bear, or is it a gorilla, or is it King Kong?
is it already King Kong? Although
What
it
is
can
your,
start from gorilla, because here in the Philippines we have such thing as SMEs or small and medium enterprises. But if you will be talking about population of employees, it's up to a maximum of 500 only. But when you're talking about thousands of employees in a company, those are called large corporations,
we are
and they
we
are
are
big
we are
corporations.
we are very niche and very modular. You know, we don't go big. We go very niche, very focused.
Mhm. That is exactly the difference between foreign companies and the Philippines. Because here in the Philippines, in order for us to be comparable with, for example, your company, they need to hire a lot of people so that they can delegate everything and we can finish within the
Yeah,
day
we
whatever
are
is the
looking more
task.
at efficiency.
Yes,
Because
efficiency.
we think of a small snake, but very poisonous.
It's
We don't
dependent.
need King Kong.
Yes,
So
yes, that is exactly the difference of foreign companies. Because with foreign companies, even with three people, you can manage a project. And I do the same. Because, for example, I do get a project. If I can do it myself, why should I
so
not do it?
can you work in that kind of environment?
Yes, definitely. I,
Can.
I usually work alone
Okay,
because I'm more of a
if we
freelancer.
ask you to show us an example of a project that you have done,
Mhm.
can you share with us?
Yes,
Maybe online later at a later date.
yes, I can share to you
Because
even links.
we need to evaluate a few more candidates,
Yes.
and we may select a few or um, more than a few,
Mhm.
or we could even go back and select nobody
Mhm.
and come back in a few months for the next round.
Okay.
Right?
Actually, if you are free this week,
Mm.
I can actually bring you to a place where we can some programmers because I have actually observed or actually have remembered that I can invite programmers, but I make it a point that before I invite, for example, programmers, I need to be oriented first because they will be asking me what exactly is
So,
that, what is the
okay,
company.
if that happens, then there might be a second stage in a few months' time.
Well, if you can do it like, for example, this Friday,
Because
then
what I understand is here in the Philippines, things don't happen so fast, right? So you take it easy. You do it.
no, what I would like to say is that starting tomorrow until Friday, we'll be holding events, particularly chemistry related.
Tell you what, this event is another topic. Let's say down the road, if you have any events and you want to invite us, maybe we can attend.
Yes,
Yeah, maybe.
this Friday.
This week, no.
Ano?
No.
Until when will you be here?
We are busy.
Okay.
We're very
It's
busy.
it's actually my point is, for example, if you are free either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, I can set up an exclusive, uh, more like meeting, but we will do it not one by one. I will be inviting all the programmers in the area and then have one meeting and we can collaborate. We can have panel interviews. That is
Maybe a
exactly.
later stage. So we'll
Okay.
follow up with you first.
Okay, no problem.
Rochelle, anything else? Are we good? Are we good? Okay, talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. That